What's up guys, it's Rokta here and welcome back to yet another amazing video on the channel. So for today I got you a updated Tearlament deck profile. I uploaded a updated version I think around a month ago now, but the deck has changed quite a lot. It's quickly become I think one of my favorite decks. I'm on a mission to max rarity it. I'm not that far. I think I'm only missing King of the Swamps from the main deck to max rarity it, so that is obviously very good. Make sure that you do enjoy this type of content. You leave a like, comment down below so I can interact with you guys and you can both learn something. And subscribe once you're down there. 93% of you that watch this video unsubscribed. What are you guys doing? If you've seen this video, if you've seen one of my videos at least once before, you got to owe me a subscribe. That's just how the rules work. But apart from that, we're going to get straight into this deck profile. I hope you guys do enjoy. So starting off with this updated Tearlament deck profile for today, we have triple Kashtira Fenrir. I know this card isn't a Tearlament card, but it might as well just be because it searches us our Tearlament Kashtira, which we play 3 of. Now this is a really important part in the deck because these two level 7s, a combo I'm going to be showing you at the end of the video, actually get you so many disruptions. It is insane. So just stick around till the end so you can see that combo. But triple Fenrir, triple Tearlament Kashtira. And we also have triple of the Tearlament's Rhino Heart. This card is so good, guys. The fact you just normal summon it, send the Tearlaments. You can even send your Tearlament's Kashtira if you just want 2 mills. And if it's sent to the graveyard, summon itself, pitch your Tearlament card from your hand. It's a level 4. It's pretty much everything you need. It's 2-1 defense as well, which sometimes comes up. For our Tearlaments, they are all limited to 1 because the deck was just broken. We have 1 Shiren, 1 Hafnis, and 1 Merly. I'd say probably the best one is Merly, just because the fact of the version we play, we're going to be able to send it from the deck to the graveyard with our Sprite Sprint, which always gets us our fusions. Hafnis is pretty good as well, especially if we draw it during our opponent's turn, and Shiren is just amazing in our turn because we can pitch a monster, summon it, mill, and get 2 level 4s on the board, make redoer, and do all of those shenanigan plays. So this is the Tearlament package. I'm extremely happy with the deck in testing, I'm not gonna lie. I think this deck is highly underrated at the moment. I think everyone just assumed Tearlament was dead, and I don't think there could be any more wrong. Yes, the banlist killed a lot of its power, but the deck still has that explosiveness about it, guys. Especially if you build it right and your mills are on point, this deck can easily still take events, in my opinion. For one of the best cards in the deck, and I'm getting supers very soon because I'm going to be max raritying this deck, we have triple King of the Swamp. This card searches you poly, but the most important fact is when you mill it, it counts as any name in the graveyard. This is how you make your Rukalos, because of course Kitkalos is banned, but with King of the Swamp, you can still make a Rukalos. So King of the Swamp is a mandatory 3 of. We of course have all of the Shizus. We have the 1 Keldo. We have the 1 Medora for our shufflers. And then for our millers, the 1 Agido and the 1 Kelbeck. These cards are still very good, guys. You can send them from the deck to the graveyard, of course, with our Diviner of the Herald, which is the entire point of this card. It becomes a level 6. 6 plus 4 makes 10, which makes you the Baron, makes you the Chaos Angel, and it's just insane versatility. Being a level 6, if you make a Garura, 2 level 6s make Beatrice. The deck just has so many different lines, guys. I think the deck has really evolved since the ban list because it sort of forces you to not play like the boring version, which is just all these Shizus milling all the time. You have to sort of be smart with your plays. You have to be making cards that have purpose, and you can't get bailed out like you could before the ban list, where if you did a misplay, it didn't matter because you're going to mill like 4 Tearlaments anyway. So yeah, but that's not going to happen anymore, so you've got to be really clever. And I think Diviner just serves multiple purposes, to be honest with you. It sends the Shizus, and the level 6 can be used for a Synchro or an Xyz, which I like. So really nice. And wrapping up our monsters, we have triple Gamma Seal, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. This is great against Kashtiras because Kashtira, a Rise Heart, I believe a Rise Heart, destroys a deck because it's basically a macro Cosmo. Give them a Kaiju and all your problems are dealt with. It's also an Aqua, which comes up a lot. So if you mill it, it's also very useful into making your Kaleido Heart and things like that. So those are the monsters. I'm very happy. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so happy with this build so far. It's worked out pretty good for me so far. For our spells, we have the best spell in the deck, Primitive Planet, Perlerino. a Rota, and the fact that you're going to be able to pop a card every single turn as soon as a Tearlament is shuffled from the field or graveyard back into your deck. It's going to pop a card. So with the Ishizu Shufflers, you're going to be able to trigger this card whenever you want, which is absolutely brilliant. And the attack boost is very nice, making your fusions just in general big boys and very hard to out. We have the one Pressured Planet Race Off. This card, unfortunately, this card is the only card that doesn't mention Visa Starfrost in the Planet series of field spells, which is kind of really annoying because that would make Trigger Karma so much better. But one is fine. I'm playing one because I play one Thrust in my online testing. I don't own one Thrust, so I'm playing two Tactics instead. But the one Thrust gets your Terraforming, which gets either of your planets, which is absolutely insane. This gives you access to all your Kashtiras, including Tearlament Kashtira, and this gives you access to your Tearlaments. So absolutely insane, guys. That's it for the field spells. We have double of the Tearlament Scream. I was playing this card at 3. I've bumped it back down to 2 because I've reduced the trap lineup. It's just, I don't think this card's as good as I initially thought it was. I thought that this card was mandatory. You needed to be playing 3 and mill it to the graveyard to get access to the traps. But in the build I have now, the traps are nice, but you have so many other plays with monsters that the traps aren't essential like I thought they were. We're playing 2 triple tack. I'd probably just play the one Thrust and the one tack, because the one Thrust can get you the tack or the Terraforming, or the Foolish Burial, which I think is a lot more versatile, and obviously the Terraforming can touch 2 different types of field spells. So that is why I'd play the one Thrust. I just don't own that. We have the one Foolish Burial. Do I need to say more? Foolish Burial, just send whatever you need. One Foolish Burial goods, send your Trigger Karma, send your Tearlaments traps, get searchers. Nothing else needs to be said. One Call By. You need to play around hand traps, guys. You need to play around Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter ends your turn. Pray to the gods, you open Call By, or Tactics, or something. Usually they'll Dimension Shifter you like in the standby. So you gotta hope to God you have that Call By, because Dimension Shifter really does hurt this deck, and it's basically a turn skip if they resolve the Dimension Shifter. We have the one Polymerization in Beautiful Secret Rare. Shout out to Cam if you're watching this video for hooking me up with a nice deal. Just searchable off King of the Swamp. And of course the one Terraforming, which is of course more access to our field spells, which gives us more consistency. For our traps, one Sulik, because I think this card is just so good. It's basically an imperm every single turn by sending an effect monster you control to the graveyard, which I don't even think is a cost, because that is just insane. They'll fusion summon if you send Tearlaments. The one Meta Noise, which is a Book of Moon and Foolish Burial. Like, that is just ridiculous. I play the counter trap in the side more, so I get to play around evenly and Dark Rule and things like that. So the counter traps in the side, I main deck these 2 traps, and of course the one Trigger Karma. You don't really want to open this card ever unless you open the planet, the Tearlament planet, and then you can pop it from the field to the graveyard. This is just if you mill it, banish it, and add a card that mentions Visa Starfrost. So your traps, Tearlament Scream, and your Tearlament field spell. That is it for the main deck. It is 40 cards. Let's move on to the extra deck. Moving on to the extra deck, and in my opinion, this is where the spice begins. We have the one Crush Heap, because I've realized that if you Tactics take an opponent's monster, you never ever want to give it back. So you need that Crush Heap. Also, it's just few free bodies when you fusion summon under it. Can summon back a Diviner of the Herald, send a Shuffler, and you get extra disruption that way. We have the one of your Sprite Sprint. This is going to be sending your level 2 to the graveyard, which is always your Tearlament Merly. And we have the one Cherubini, Ebon Angel of the Burning Abyss. Now, apart from you're wondering how you make this, which I'll explain later on in the combo, in the extra deck and in the combo, this sends for cost, meaning if you send your Tearlament's Halfness, it's not going to trigger, but we play a very good level 3, which is King of the freaking Swamp. So we send King of the Swamp, and then with Cherubini, we make Sprite Sprint, which will always have an extra monster to use Cherubini and an extra monster to make Sprint. I'll show you in the combo. And then Sprint, send Merly. Merly, King of the Swamp, gives you access to your Rukalos or your Dark World Fusion. So basically insane, these links in my opinion. And then you can even link off your Sprint into the Crush Heap, and then you'll have a fusion. Well, you can fusion summon again later in the turn or during your opponents and have a monster reborn. So beautiful, beautiful links. I wouldn't take out any of them. I think they're all great in my opinion. All of them link 2s as well, and all of them secret rare. For our Tearlament fusions, Kaleido Heart, this card is ridiculous, guys. When you summon it, or if an aqua monster is sent to your graveyard, you target card in the field, shuffle it back into the deck. So Mirror Jade, bye-bye, you're not activating your effect, that's gone. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, including your own, so if you Tearlament, Sulik it away, if you field spell pop it, you can bring it back. It comes back and it Foolish Burials, so that just gives you a lot more plays. We have the one beautiful Starlight Rare Tearlament Rukalos. This card is just, if it's basically a special summon negate. Remember, if this card doesn't destroy, so if they're trying to special summon back from the graveyard, banish pile, or something like that, you don't send. So you just get the free neg and you don't send. If it destroys the card, then you got to send a card to the graveyard. So just remember that with Rukalos, but amazing card. And it's really cheap, actually. The Secret Rare, I think, is like £2 at the moment. So maybe this is the time to pick up your normal Rukaloses. I think the Starlights are like 100 as well. So actually could be stonks, to be honest with you, if this deck ever gets like help off the ban list. We have the one Guardian Chimera in Collector Rare. I just feel like I should say the rarities just because I can. Guardian Chimera is so good, especially when you add the poly. You have 2 Tearlaments in hand, one on field, for example. You poly, you're going to make Guardian Chimera, and then you got a bunch of chains. You got like your 2 fusion summons if you send 2 Tearlaments to the grave, like a Halfness and a Merly. You got your Chimera that's popping cards. If you have the field spell, when all that resolves, you're going to pop again. This card can't be targeted if Poly's in the grave. It will come out with 3/8, I believe, if the field spell's on the field, which is absolutely huge and really difficult to out since it can't be targeted and it's 3 attack. One Grapha, again, King of the Swamp, makes this card. And it comes out with 3/7 if the field spell is out, and it discards a card which will trigger the Tearlaments, and you get to negate a monster, normal spell, or normal trap. Remember, if they're not normal spells or traps, you can't negate them, so that's pretty important. We got the one Dracos Tapalia. This card was played even before Tearlaments got here. It's just nice. Fusion and a Dark Monster, pretty easy to do. The one Garura, mandatory because it's level 6, so we can make our Beatrice with this and a Diviner. Also, when it goes to the grave, it draws us a card, and it does double battle damage to our opponent, which is nice for OTKs. We have our one Mud Dragon of the Swamp, which again is just really useful because it's a level 4, helps us make our Xyz plays. This is a Zeus. I forgot to move it from one of my decks. I've just realized now. It's a Zeus, guys. I promise you it's a Zeus. I have a Zeus. You've probably seen other deck profiles where I have an ulti Zeus. This is Zeus. This is the proxy. I've ordered this card like a week ago and it still hasn't arrived, and I really want to show you guys this build. So this is your Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but 2 level 7s, and I'll show you in the combo why 2 level 7s absolutely break this card in this deck. We have the one Beatrice that I've mentioned a few times, just a Foolish Burial twice on a quick effect. One Time Thief Redoer, shout out to Chandler for the Time Thief Redoer. And then we have the one misprinted Chaos Angel. This is most likely going to be Baron de Fleur. I don't have a Baron de Fleur, so I'm just testing out a Chaos Angel for the time being. It's very nice as well. I think it's pretty much personal preference at this point if you want Baron de Fleur or if you want Chaos Angel. So now I'm going to show you the 2-card combo of absolute madness. Alright, so this is a 1-card combo, because this is going to get searched off Fenrir. So 1-card combo. Shout out to Alex if you're watching this video. I'll probably send it to you anyway, just to prove to you that Tearlaments aren't dead. What we're going to do is we're going to special summon our Kashtira Fenrir, use its effect. We're going to search our Tearlaments Kashtira. Now with Tearlaments Kashtira, we actually have to have a Tearlament in the grave, a Kashtira or Tearlament card in the grave or our hand. So it's not really a true 1-card combo, but it is worth it, I promise you guys. You're going to summon this. You could mill. Most likely you will mill. If you mill a Merly, it sort of messes up the combo, but you usually will mill because the chances of you hitting Merly off 2 isn't that high. And then you mill. If there's effects, you do all that. What you're going to do is you're going to Xyz summon into a level 7. This is your Draco Sack, which is crazy. If you don't know what Draco Sack does, is you're going to detach 1 material. You're going to summon 2 tokens to the field. I don't know if I have... Let's use this as 2 tokens. We're going to link those 2 tokens away, and the tokens are level 3, guys. So that makes us our Cherubini Ebon Angel. I'm going to have to put it here so the camera can catch up. This is in the extra monster zone, but just imagine that it's here for now because the camera can't get it. And then Cherubini effect is going to Foolish Burial for cost. So even if they hash this, I don't know, if they impum this, it's still going to go through. We're going to send our King of the Swamp to the graveyard. Linking these 2 cards away, we're going to make our Sprite Sprind. Sprind effect which again is in the extra monster zone, is going to send us our Merly to the graveyard. Merly effect's going to trigger. We're going to summon, we're going to summon by using Merly and King of the Swamp as material. They go to the bottom, and we can either make not a Cross Sheep, we can either make a Rukalos or a Dark World Fusion. It's really up to choice. Probably the Rukalos most of the time because it plays around Nib. But yeah, that is why we're using the Rukalos. Or if you just want to negate something, you can make the Grapher as well. This plays around Nib too. It's really up to preference, and that's with one card. You'll still have more cards in your hand to combo with, and then at some point you can link off the Sprint and one monster into a Cross Sheep. And then when you use the Rukalos effect, which is why I like using Rukalos, it brings itself back, and then you can use its effect, bring back a level 4. So that is the end of the combo, guys, and why I think that Draco Sack is absolutely crazy in this deck. So that is the end of my updated Tearlament deck profile. I hope you guys really did enjoy. I really do think this deck is still good. A lot of people just think the deck's completely dead because the ban has killed it. Yes, the ban has hurt quite a lot. I'm not going to deny that. But I think the deck is still at least worth looking, worth testing. And if anything, it's still a bunch of fun to play. So please do give it a try. Maybe try my build. And maybe let me know how you guys get along with that. But I'm Rogue here, and I'll see you all in the next video.
It's time! Let's go!